This is the Savannah Sky Show, and I am Savannah Sky. This show is going to be loosely based on consumerism. People need to live simply, simple living, things like that. Appreciation for what you have, appreciation for what you have. Okay, so let's start with living simply. To me, living simply is like, well, I really don't know what living simply really is. So it's hard for me to kind of comment on it. But, okay, my version of like living simply would be saving your money instead of like, oh, look at that really cute pair of shoes. No, I won't get that this time. I'll put my money away for when I'm older. Something like that I think might be living simply. Or even like camping, I feel like being simple, I feel like makes you humble. And I don't really know how to define simple living, but I know how to define excessive living. So maybe I do know how to define simple living. I don't know. I just know what I know. But one thing I want to say real quick. Everything I say on the Savannah Sky Show is my opinion. It is my opinion. You don't have to believe it, but hopefully it can open your eyes to a different way of thinking. I feel like everyone should be very open-minded. But anyway, so like, I feel like living extravagantly is kind of uncalled for, you know? Yes, if you have money, buy yourself a nice car, buy yourself a nice home. But the main point of having a home is to keep your family safe. And if you don't have a family, it's to keep yourself safe. And having a vehicle is mainly about getting your family or yourself to point A to point B safely. And I feel like people, especially like rappers and stuff, say things like, oh, it's a recession, bitch, I ain't in a recession. Man, fuck you. It is a recession, and people aren't buying your concert tickets because they're broke. Maybe if you had a little sympathy or empathy, excuse me, I didn't mean to say sympathy, I meant empathy. If you weren't an asshole, which I know a lot of like famous people, not every famous person came from, you know, rich backgrounds, so those kind of people, I think they understand, you know. But people who were born rich and have always been rich, I feel like they need to take a trip, you know, to a soup kitchen or something like that. They need to volunteer some time and go see some ghetto areas to understand that material things aren't everything. People can live with nothing. I mean, when I was growing up, we would move like every like 4 to like 7.5 months. If I was lucky, 7.5 months. And every single time that we left, we had to leave everything except what fit in our little 4-door car. Sometimes 2-door car. So we had to leave everything. And because I went through things like that, I understand how I appreciate every single thing that I have. Every single thing that I have, I appreciate it because I know what it's like to have nothing and to move and start fresh and have nothing. Nothing. And I feel like people who know what it's like to have nothing, people who know what it's like to be hungry, they are the ones that, you know, think differently than the people that I'm about to talk about. Consumerism. I don't really know, like, consumerism is iffy for me. It's all in your frame of mind. Every single thing is mind over matter. You have to understand that. It doesn't matter how you were raised, it doesn't matter anything. If you were raised in a bad situation, you should have the common sense to understand that that was wrong and do the right thing with your life. But a lot of people don't have that common sense. It's just like a lot of people don't get it. And I don't understand how they don't get it because I get it so well. But I don't know. Everybody's not like me. Everybody didn't live my life, and I haven't lived your lives. So I don't know. But, can't remember what I was saying. But the majority, mainality of what I'm trying to say about consumerism is that there's two views on it. One view is yes, it's nice to have nice things when I can't afford it. And that's not the bad mentality. The bad mentality to have is, oh, I see a commercial for McDonald's, so I'm going to go get a Big Mac. Oh, I see a commercial for Louis Vuitton purses, I'm going to go get a Louis Vuitton purse. Oh, my friend just told me that they came out with a new Nike shoe. Oh, I'm going to go get it right now. Like, that's ridiculous to me a little bit. Like, yeah, it's nice to have nice clothes and nice things, but you also have to understand those aren't the most important things in the world. Like, the most important things in the world is who you are as a person, and who your partner is as a person, and who your family is as a family. You know what I mean? And it's really hard to, like, I don't know. It's really hard to say what I'm thinking, because I don't know. It's just really hard to say what I'm thinking. Hopefully you understand, though. Okay. One other thing that I wanted to talk about is, like, product of our raising. Everybody is a product of their raising. In the 50s, they were a little bit uptight, which is weird because in the 40s and a little bit in the 20s, they were like swing dance, this, that. I mean, they weren't as promiscuous as we are now, but it kind of led up to it. And then that led to the 50s, which they were uptight. They were dead set on the vision of the perfect American dream, the perfect American family, whatever. Perfect is so boring, by the way. And then that led to the 60s, free love and sex and drugs, which led to the 70s, which was, I feel the 70s are two things: the rebellion, punk rock, rock and roll, sex and drugs, and then this disco, dancing, sex and drugs, and then the 80s, which I don't even want to talk about the 80s. I think they were very awkward in the beginning. But I feel like my generation is probably about mid-80s to early 90s. I think that's my generation. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that's what I can only assume. And anyway, so then the 80s led to the 90s. But the 80s is when people started, like, opening their minds a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? They started accepting people a little bit more. There's always going to be racist people out there. There's always going to be assholes out there. But that's when people kind of collectively started accepting each other more. And the 90s and the 2000s were basically the same, except that was when, you know, the technology boom happened and everyone was like, woohoo, computers, not just an 8-track in my car. But, yeah. And the 2010s, we're only 2 years in here, and already you can see so many new technologies coming out that just blows my mind. I don't know if it blows your mind, but it blows mine, and I can't even imagine what it's going to be like, you know, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, 100 years down the road. I wonder what they're going to say about us, like we talk about the 70s. I wonder what they're going to say in, like, 2070 about us. Anyway, that's not part of the show. I would like to do a little shout out. Well, not really shout out. I want to call you out. America. I cannot believe that more people in the United Kingdom and in Germany watch my show more than America. How the freaking heck does Germany and the UK even know who I am? They've never heard of me. I ain't never been over there. Like, how do they even know? Jay must be right. I must be a world star. Thanks, Jay. That made me feel really awesome. But anyway, and yeah, so America, you better catch up. And especially my friends. I have so many friends, and I cannot believe that you are not watching my show. Especially when you lie to me and tell me that you're watching it and you're not. That is so rude. Just be honest and say, I don't want to watch it, or fuck off, basically. I'm just kidding. But on the real, I want to, for people who do actually watch my show, people who do actually, like, keep up and watch all my shows, I want to say thank you so much, because it makes me feel really nice that you guys, you know, care enough to watch my show. And thank you, because one day when I am on the radio or Fuse, I'll be giving you shout outs, Kim and Robin and Jay, not everybody else jerk offs. I'm just kidding. Okay. I'm done talking trash. But in all reality, I just hope that people can understand where I'm coming from when I say these things. Hopefully I'm not just babbling, and hopefully you can understand what I'm saying. But I try to give you 100% Savannah Sky. And I think I do that. Because if you know me, you know this is really how I talk. I talk like, people say I talk weird, like it's hard to understand me, but whatever. Hopefully you understand me. And if you don't, hopefully I can widen your mind and you'll understand me one day. This has been the Savannah Sky Show, of course. And duh, I am Miss Savannah Sky. You better recognize. No, I'm just kidding. And hope you had a great time. Thank you.